Hello, Greater Wenatchee Valley citizens. It's Kevin Strickland, your most unrecognized victim of. Thanks to Sage for making that possible. Here today to talk to you about gaslighting. What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which a person or a group of people seek to sow seeds of doubt in an individual or target. The term gaslighting originated from a 1938 Patrick Hamilton play, Gaslight, and its later 1940 and 44 film adaptations, both titled Gaslight, in which the lead character tries to make his wife believe that she has gone insane in order to cover up his own criminal acts. The husband had killed his neighbor, and in the hopes of stealing her jewels. However, he could not find them. And apparently, every time he would go into the attic to search, he would turn on the lights, and the light in his own home, where his dear wife sat, would dim. Of course, when the wife spoke of it, it was given the illusory tag of figment of her imagination. Eventually, nobody would believe anything that she said, because, after all, she was crazy, or something like that. It is now used colloquially to describe somebody trying to manipulate somebody else's perception of it. Gaslighting is heinous in its gradual nature. It's often premeditated, but actually subliminal. Sometimes we just don't know it. It's by conditioning. It's what we've known. It's what we do. So gaslighting techniques are often used on a daily basis, and as they persist, they become more regular and either more or less sophisticated, depending on the continued responses of their targets. For example, here's a simple formula: get the same thing, do the same thing. Do the same thing, get the same thing. With gaslighting, they call it manipulative, is to put a lot of sweetener in your words. I think that gaslighting's prevalence is such that it contributes largely to many mild to serious forms, and it creates malevolent forms of groupthink. In context and application, the techniques are clearly understood. We are all born sinners. We know how it works and understand gaslighting, but we've never perhaps heard the term. It's kind of like, oh, there's a word for that? In fact, we could be experiencing the ramifications of it and not know what it is. In my research, I've come across it being referred to as the dark magic of communication, which is something I've believed, for as far back as I was thinking analytically about things, is how powerful language is and the power of words. What I hope to accomplish is to make people understand the concepts behind gaslighting and how to recognize how we ourselves gaslight, and then how to be aware of gaslighting efforts aimed toward us and how to avoid such relationships. There is a cure. It's called identifying it, and it is followed by not ignoring it, but by taking notes and considering options and applying proper changes toward your current relationships, if not dying. Gaslighters aim to seed doubt in their target, making them question their own perceptions and even their own sanity, their memory of things. Gaslighters prey upon your insecurities, which turns them into anxieties, which evolve to ruminating thoughts, which in their worst case scenario can lead to mental illness or even social or physical. We start spinning our tires in the mud of our thoughts and our mind, and going around in increasingly and friendly but increasingly shrinking circles, or over the edge. Gaslighting techniques work through persistent passive-aggressive acts. Like it or not, gaslighting is used by most parents, most of our parents, and it includes things like saying things under their breath, using the silent treatment, calling names, denial, misdirection, contradiction, labeling, lying. It's super versatile. So almost effortlessly, a successful gaslighter can destabilize their target and make illegitimate their belief. If you don't understand the term, you can't recognize the conditions. It's not until you start experiencing the ramifications of conscious gaslighting that you understand how serious it is. If there is a cure, it is identifying the techniques. So it's your response to the gaslighting that determines whether or not it continues to happen to you. I do believe that this operant conditioning develops into a glass ceiling. And I can't have that attitude, or that's just the way it is, or that's just who I am, or that's just how things go. It is a follow the herd mentality, philosophy, manifesto, mythology, curse. I said that to say this. If you work with people, say in the capacity of helping the less fortunate or the physically challenged, the disabled, the mentally or emotionally vulnerable, perhaps you are responsible for even protecting the personal information of those people. And so let's say you don't know who's going to be in your clientele in the future, so it would be a discredit for you to be saying anything disparaging about these general citizens, especially once we reach the point of mandatory reporter status. So gaslighting is more recognizable, and it is seriously frowned upon in the social services field. And so I'm talking to one or more people and telling them to stop doing it. I hate the phrase that I can't make you feel anything that you don't want to feel. I much rather prefer the phrase, sometimes the boldest lies are the most. Up to about 9 months ago, the word gaslighting wasn't even in my lexicon. And now that I completely understand it, it is everywhere. And me is the fact gaslighting me then, they gaslight me now. Do about it except, fight back. So now I have this happening to me. Somebody got mad at me because of things I said, which were really my right, and nothing that was meant derogatory towards these people. They decided to take shots at me in a private room full of other of these caseworker type people. There were others in earshot loyal to me. And so that's all I got to say, man. I'm not trying to ruin anybody's career, but it's really distasteful for you to say disparaging marks about the people that you help or potentially will help. Shame on you. Thanks for watching.